Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cleo, and I'm from the Insight team. I also have my colleague Salma here. Two of us will be co-facilitating today's training. In the chat, we also have two colleagues from the Insight team as well, Elena and Rachel, who will be helping us support the chat. If you have any question, they will try their best to answer that. I think we have maybe 500 people registered for this session, so I'm gonna slowly start us while we expect more people to join the session. Feel free to continuously put your name, role, what you expect or hope to hear from today's session in the chat. A quick agenda of today. If you're brand new to Insight, we will spend some time what Insight is and the different types of data Insight has. I do notice some people also mentioned that in the chat already. The main session today will focus on attendance and the chronic absenteeism data in Insight at school, classroom, and student levels. I think many of you mentioned you're a teacher, so we did prepare this session from teacher perspective. Hopefully that will be helpful. We then will have a Q&A session for us to answer any questions you might have, either related to the attendance topic or Insight in general. And we will also share the resources you could leverage after the session. I want to note we will email the deck to everyone who registered the session, so you don't need to do screenshot or taking a lot of notes during the session. We also have a slide at the end that links to all the resources we mentioned and prepared for you. If you have any questions during the training, you could type them in the chat. As I mentioned, our colleagues will try to get the answer to you as soon as possible, or you could wait and then during the Q&A session, you can raise your hand and we can answer them lively. So what is Insight? Insight is a NYC DOE web-based tool that gives our users access to timely and actionable data to better understand their students. Insight pulls data from various source systems, and it includes information for all the current enrolled active students. Salma is going to switch to the Insight homepage. This is what Insight looks like. We have data for school climate topic, which we will spend most of time today to talk about, which is attendance. We have assessments category. That one has assessment data on grades 3 to 8 state tests, regions, Acadians, New York City performance task, and a map. We have a category called courses and pathways that includes advanced courses enrollment information for middle and high schools. And for high schools, we also have a graduation status feature. So that's a quick general what all the data type Insight has. Data in Insight refreshes every morning before 7 a.m., which means our data is quite lively and the information you see is usually up to the date as the previous school day. Now, how to access Insight and what access level people have. We list out 3 ways that you can access Insight. The first one is use our direct URL. So you can click on the URL and then you will be able to access it. Another way is go to the Teach Hub. Insight is available on Teach Hub. I think any tab has Insight. I'm going to take K-12 tab as example. You will find Insight within the DOE applications category. The third way to access Insight is its parent site, which is the website called Tools for Understanding Your Data. The link is also on the webpage. Okay, someone's showing the link. So there are other tools. There's some public tools. If you scroll down, Insight is one of the tools under the internal school use category. You're welcome to explore other tools on this webpage. As the name indicates, it's internal school use, so you will need to log in to Insight with your DOE credential because it has confidential student level information in it. How do access level works in Insight? Based on your role, you might have different level access and see different level of data. If you are a classroom teacher, you will be able to see all the students that are currently enrolled in your classroom. If you are a school administrator like AP or guidance counselor or data specialist, when you log into Insight, you will be able to see all the students your school supports. And if you are a district user from superintendent's office, you will be able to access all the schools that you support. So based on your role, you might see different number of features, different level of data aggregation in Insight. Now, this is a very quick high-level overview of Insight. Another note I want to make is Insight is a user-centric tool. Our team decides what topic, what data or feature to work on next, largely based on what users write to us. We have a user experience team, which conducts user interviews. They talk to our users. We test our designs for every new feature with users like you all before we implement and release them to ensure they are user-friendly and easy to understand. I want to mention this before I hand it to Salma for attendance, because if you have suggestions for us about anything you see today, please feel free to share with us. You could type in your comment or wish list item in the chat. We do have team member who will write down your request and bring back to our team. Or we will have a end of session exit ticket, which will also another opportunity for you to write down any feedback for us. If you think Insight would be something helpful to your practice, please also consider maybe user testing with us in the future to help us continuously improve the tool. We do have a question in the end of session exit ticket. I ask you if that will be something you are interested. I think that's a very quick introduction, and now I'm going to pass it to my colleague Salma, who will walk you through the attendance and chronic absenteeism feature in Insight.
All right. Thanks, Cleo. Before I begin, I would like to note that because Insight displays live student level data, due to confidentiality, I'll be using the slide deck with screenshots today. However, you're more than welcome to log in into Insight and follow along by interacting with the real website, and Cleo will place the URL into the chat. So now let us begin. Once you have logged in using your DOE credentials, we will get to this Insight homepage. There is a navigation bar on the top. Your school's name and DBN will be on the top right. And in the middle of the page, there are featured tiles. I will demonstrate how to locate the attendance and chronic absenteeism feature using the navigation bar. And you will go ahead and click on the school climate category. And then when you click on the attendance and chronic absenteeism feature, you can also click on the featured tiles on the home page, which will take you to the featured landing page. This is the attendance and chronic absenteeism feature, which includes attendance data for all DOE district schools, but excludes charter schools and 3K pre-K centers. There are 3 sections in this feature. 1, the school-wide attendance, 2, the chronic absenteeism, and 3, student attendance. Now we'll go through each one of these sections. At the top of the page, you can select the comparison group. By default, it's set to city, but if you want to change this, you can click on the drop-down menu and select on one or the other options such as borough, district, or superintendency. For now, I'm just going to leave it as city. The school-wide attendance section helps you track your school's attendance rate over time. The first chart is the daily, weekly, and monthly attendance chart. You can select an interval by using the selected interval drop-down menu. And in this chart, by default, you will see 3 lines. The blue line indicates indicates your school's daily attendance rate on each day, or the average attendance rate for the week or month. You can hover over any of the blue dots, which will give you the corresponding attendance rate for the selected interval. Now, the black line indicates your school's year-to-date average attendance rate, and the gray line indicates your year-to-date average attendance rate of the comparison group that you have chosen. For teachers to see attendance trends for your students, you can check off the box uh, next to the box that says your student's attendance rate, and the magenta line will appear, which will show you and represents the daily, weekly, or monthly attendance of the students who you're currently teaching. The next chart we will be looking at will be the yearly attendance chart. This chart shows you the school's average year-to-date attendance for the current school year compared to the end of the year average attendance rate of the last 5 years. The gray line will once again show you your selected comparison group, and this chart is super helpful to see long-term patterns in school attendance over time. The next section is the chronic absenteeism chart. Chronic absenteeism is defined as students having missed 10% or more of the school days within the school year so far. In this chart, there are two bars. The blue bar represents the percentage of students in your class who are chronically absent, and the gray bar represents the chronic absenteeism rate of your selected comparison group. You can compare your students' chronic absenteeism rate with a particular subgroup of students by adding a subgroup. And to do that, you can click on the Add Subgroup button. When you click on the button, you're able to view the default Insight subgroup menu, which includes grade, L status, gender, students with IEP, and after you have selected a subgroup you would like to focus on, you could then select Submit. Once you select Submit, a hash bar will appear in the chart under your student's bars. You can click on any of the color bar in the visualization and a student list will populate to show you who falls within the group. In the student list, you'll see their names and the total days of absence for the school year so far. You can add a subgroup, and this is a functionality that you will regularly see across the Insight tool. And it will allow you to compare a particular group of students' performance to all the students you teach. Similar as the student list, one second, right there. Many Insight visualizations are clickable and allow you to generate student lists from them. You can also export the list as a CSV file or bring the list of students to other Insight features. The next section is the student attendance section, and there are 3 charts in it. The first chart we will look at will be the yearly attendance chart. The yearly attendance chart displays year-to-date attendance rate of your students compared to the selected comparison group. You will see that you can add a subgroup, which works the same way as I showed earlier. And you can add one or more subgroups and click on the color bar to generate a student list. The next chart is the attendance rate bands. Your students' attendance rates are divided into 4 groups: 0 to 50, 50.1 to 80%, 80.1 to 90%, or greater than 90%. Students that fall within any of the first 3 groups are considered chronically absent. And again, you can add a subgroup or click on any of the charts to generate a student list. And in the student list, you'll be able to view your students' year-to-date attendance rate. The last visualization in this section is the consecutive absences chart, which shows you the number of consecutive absences of students who were absent on the most recent day for which there is attendance data, usually one school day before the current day. So let's pretend that today is Monday, April 14th. Insight does not know if your students are present today because we won't have today's attendance data until tomorrow morning. But let's look at the purple bar. That shows students who were absent for one consecutive day. Those students were absent on Friday, April 11th, the most recent school day before today, and were present the day before that. The orange bar shows the students who were absent 2 consecutive days, which were Friday, April 11th, and Thursday, April 10th. Those students were present on Wednesday, April 9th, though. Similarly to other visualizations, you'll be able to add a subgroup to generate the student list from this chart as well. For this chart, we will provide the total days of absence in the student list. I do want to note that this chart excludes days when attendance data was missing. For instance, if a student was absent on Monday, but the school did not upload attendance data on Tuesday, and the student was absent again on Wednesday, the system will count the student as having 2 consecutive days absence rather than 3. Now that we have looked at the attendance and chronic absenteeism feature, I do want to show how to check individual students' attendance trends in the school climate report. We can access this feature by using the navigation bar at the top of the page by going back to the home screen and clicking on the feature tiles. And once it loads, this is the student report on the school climate. To start, you need to select a student from the left-hand student list. You can search by using the search bar or use the filters in the list to narrow down which students fall within your selected filters. And after you have selected a student, their report will show up on the right-hand side. The overview section gives you a general information about students you selected, such as guardian information, demographic information, home language, IEP, 504 plan, and others. Below, there is the attendance section, which I'll be focused on today. The attendance section includes the following information: the total number of days students has been present, the total number of days a student has been absent for the school year, the number of days of absences in the past 2 weeks, and below that, you'll be able to see 2 calendars, one for the current school year and one for the previous year, which helps you identify any student trends a student may have. A filled-in teal box means that the student was present for an in-person day. Oops. A red box means that the student has been absent on the in-person day. If your student has a remote day in their attendance, it will show up as the reflected outline box. I do want to note that there will be a note below the calendar if a student is chronically absent for the year or is currently chronically absent but has the possibility to not be chronically absent by the end of the school year. I will be sharing this deck as we have mentioned, but I do want to go over the resources that we have here. We have an Insight wiki page where we have the business rules of what each feature is. So when you click on the Insight wiki page, you'll see this page and it will explain to you what is Insight, and you're able to view all the features here and their business rules. If we scroll down or if we use the table of contents, we're able to view the Insight resources trainings. We have a YouTube channel, which you're able to view a walkthrough video clips for each Insight feature that we had. We also have them linked in the intro blurb right here. So if you click on this hyperlink, it'll bring you to the YouTube channel and the direct YouTube video. Now, we also have a user guide, which is a PDF format where we walk you through every single feature, and we also have scenarios as well. So if you want to get yourself familiarized with Insight and learn more about what it contains, please feel free to look it over. I'll share that as well. And we also have tips documents for either teachers, bear with me one second, teachers, school leaders, counselors, and much, much more. Um, but that is all for now. Before we end, I do want to thank everyone for joining and my colleagues for assisting. I would really much appreciate it if you could let us know how we did today in our session. Please feel free to share your feedback in the form. And if you would like to use or test with us, there is a section in the form which we will place into the chat. You can tell us how we did today. What if you're interested in seeing more of this, that'd be great. We'll take all the feedback. If you would like to user test, there's also a section there, and we're currently doing iReady uh, user testing. So if your school does administer iReady, please feel free to fill out the form and we could follow up with you about testing with us. We're currently testing now until mid-May. So if you're really, really interested, please let us know. And if you're not interested or your school doesn't have any type of like iReady administration, you are interested in doing other prototype testing, please fill out the form, or you can find all the forms here in the Inside homepage. Um, this is our news section, which will let you know all the releases that we have right now. And if you have any other like improvements that you would like to see here on Insight, you can fill out the form here and let us know what type of features you would like to see next. And that is all for today. I'll stick around here for a little bit if there's any other questions. But that is all for today, and I'll email everyone the deck. Thank you, everyone.